Hello everybody, welcome to my November music wrap-up video. In this video, I talk about the artists that I've been listening to the most of during the last month. I talk about first-time spins, albums that I've listened to for the first time. And these are albums that, again, are over a year old. They're not new albums. Um, these are albums that are over a year old. So let me jump right into it. This month, I listened to 51 unique albums. Um, a little lower than most months. I've been working from the office more these days, so I am not listening to as much straight ahead music as I'd like. But again, I'm at the office 3 days a week now instead of just the one. I got a different position, well, a slight promotion with the job, so with that, I'm at the office a little bit more, which is fine. It just cuts back a little bit on my music listening. So 51 albums. Which is still pretty good. I listen to a lot in the car. And yeah, let me jump into my most listened. Where did it go? I messed it all up. Okay, so my most listened to albums. I'm going to show you the I'm going to show you 5, 4, and 3, which are all tied albums. This is, I mentioned this earlier on my other video. Jessica Lee Mayfield and Seth Avett sing the songs of Elliott Smith. Very mellow, not a whole lot of excitement, which is what you can kind of expect from two Americana indie kind of people singing, songs about depression and alcoholism and really serious topics. So, but it's really good. I mean, especially if you like Seth Avett from the Avett Brothers, you'll like that a lot. Let's see. Next, again, in no particular order, Only the Strong Survive by Bruce Springsteen. This is his most recent album. I believe there's going to be a volume 2. This is technically considered volume 1. He does all sorts of soul songs. I'm really, really enjoying it. For example, he does songs like Only the Strong Survive, Soul Days, which has Sam Moore from Sam and Dave. He does Night Shift by the Commodores, Do I Love You, Indeed I Do, The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore, Turn Back the Hands of Time, Hey Western Union Man, I Wish It Would Rain, Seven Rooms of Gloom, What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, and Someday We'll Be Together, and a few other songs. So really, really good. If you like soul, big brass background playing, you'll really like this. I'm really enjoying it. And 'tis the season, folks. It's Christmas time, which means I like to listen to this album by J.D. McPherson. I talked about it last year. And I can't recommend this album enough to people. I know I got my buddy Matthew Street interested in it. This is Socks. All original Christmas music, so you don't have the same, stale kind of Christmas music that some people, get tired of. I don't, but some people do. It's rockabilly. It's fun. It's party music. It's retro, but also sounds new. Really cool. And if you want any kind of, credit for J.D. McPherson, he's currently playing lead guitar for Alison Krauss and Robert Plant. So if that doesn't entice you, I don't know what will. Socks. All right, my top 2, and this one I am not ashamed about at all. I'm really enjoying this album. Hate to tell you, folks. Backstreet Boys, A Very Backstreet Christmas. It's their 10th studio album. It's their first Christmas album. And actually, as of just a couple of days ago, they just hit their first #1 song since 1999. Their version of Last Christmas by Wham is on here, and it went to #1 on the adult contemporary, I believe. So it's the 5 original Backstreet Boys. They do, classics, White Christmas, Christmas Song, Winter Wonderland. They also do Same Old Lang Syne. They don't sing the very last few lines, which is kind of weird to me, but they do a pretty good version of Same Old Lang Syne, Silent Night, and then they have 3 originals at the end: Christmas in New York, Together, and Happy Days. Which Happy Days isn't really a Christmas song per se. It's just kind of a party feel-good song. But yeah, very Backstreet Christmas. I really, really like it. And my most listened to album in the month of November is Seth Avett sings Greg Brown. Absolutely love this album. Greg Brown is a singer-songwriter that Seth Avett wants people to know more about. Greg Brown himself is kind of a Leonard Cohen style singer. He's not a great singer, And I don't know much of his stuff other than what's on here. I did find out that he's married to Iris DeMent, who toured and sang a little bit with John Prine. So that's some chops there. Um, I think Scott Avett appears on a track or two, and so does Bob Crawford. But mostly it's Seth. A lot of recordings that he did in hotel rooms on tour. So Seth Avett sings Greg Brown. I know Brian over at Shamrock Records loves this, and check it out. It's very, very good. All right, most listened artists of the month. So in third place, mostly because of the Revolver box set, the Beatles. Again, we all go through little Beatles phases, I think. Sometimes I'll go a year without listening to the Beatles and then pop them in, and it's instant immersion. So the Beatles made my top 3 most listened artists in November. Number 2, again, thank you to this box set. Tom Petty once again made my top 3. I think he did last month as well, because I was really invested in the Wildflowers box set. Well, this month it's been all about the Fillmore, and can't say enough nice things about this album. It's full of covers by the Heartbreakers. They did a 20-night run at the Fillmore in California, and they do some of their stuff like Listen to Her Heart, American Girl, Running Down a Dream, Free Fallin'. But they also do stuff like Friend of the Devil by the Grateful Dead, I Want You Back Again by the Zombies. They do a few Bird songs with Roger McGuinn, a couple of songs with John Lee Hooker. They do Time Is On My Side by the Rolling Stones. They do Gloria by them. Just all sorts of great stuff. They do instrumentals like Green Onions, Goldfinger. Really, really cool. In the running for my favorite box set. It might beat out Wildflowers. I don't know. And number 1, listen to artists just because I was in a mood. Mandolin Orange. They're a duo from North Carolina, and I want to say Winston-Salem, maybe. Andrew Marlin and Emily France are the husband and wife, and they've recently changed their name to Watch House, so I'm counting Watch House as well because I've listened. Kind of a segue. Watch House released their newest album. I can't even remember what it's called. Wow, I feel really bad. They just released one last year. Well, anyway, sorry, I'm gonna look it up because I'm struggling to remember the name. But they released their newest album last year, and they released an acoustic version. Oh, it's just self-titled, Watch House. They released the album Watch House as a duo album, as a acoustic version digitally, and they're actually just releasing a vinyl copy, which I should get very soon. So I listened to a lot of Mandolin Orange / Watch House this past month. Only 3 physical new first-time spins. The first is this Christmas compilation called My Favorite Gifts. It's put out by Ramser Records, which housed the Avett Brothers for their first several albums. And they're like Americana, lesser-known Christmas songs. So you've got artists like the Over Mountain Men. You have David Mayfield doing On Christmas Eve. David Wax Museum. Nick and the Babes doing Christmas Time Is Here, the Vince Guaraldi song. Jim Avett, who's the Avett Brothers' father, doing the song The Brightest Star. Paleface, who's a collaborator with the Avetts, doing Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. The Avett Brothers doing a song called I Thank God. Jessica Lee Mayfield doing Little Toy Trains. And then the Wood Brothers at the end, who I talk about all the time, singing The Rebel Jesus by Jackson Browne. I listened to this for the first time. This is Randy Travis, Songs of the Season, country singer, really big in the 80s and 90s. This was an album from 2007. He does a lot of your classics on here. No Place Like Home for the Holidays, Oh Holy Night, Go Tell on the Mountain, Let It Snow, Away in the Manger. And then he does songs like Our King, Nothing's Gonna Bring Me Down at Christmas Time, Labor of Love. So really, really good Christmas album. I'm happy to have that. And lastly, physically, this is a compilation that came out by Magnolia Record Company. And I know my friend George Allen also picked this up because it was like $10 online. It's called the Moon River Sessions. They're live acoustic versions that artists did at the River Music Festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 2018. This is compiled by Drew Holcomb of Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. So you have 2 songs on here by him. You have Tennessee, which is beautiful. Oh, I thought he was on here twice. He's not. You have I'm With Her, which is Alfie O'Donovan, Sarah Jarosz. I can't remember the third person. You have Darling Side, Joseph, Judah and the Lion, The War on the Treaty, Penny and Sparrow, Camp, who I like a lot, Mandolin Orange, I just talked about, and then Boy Named Banjo. I really enjoyed this and was happy to put it on the turntable. I also listened to a few albums digitally, again, because I'm working from the office more. I listened to Imagine for the first time by John Lennon, if you can believe that. That's another album that Rich and I are planning to do on our series. I think they're Ben Rector. I listened to a Ben Rector Christmas album. So just a few other odds and ends, but I don't have them to show, so I won't really go into those. But yeah, let me know what you think, and leave a comment. Please be sure to enter my contest that's going on until January the 2nd, celebrating my 2 years on YouTube. And yeah, I look forward to talking to y'all in the comments. In the meantime, y'all be good, take care, and I will talk to y'all real soon. Bye now.